Bonjour, Panam. Welcome to the series of 35 things I am unlearning at 35. This is going to be the new jingle for the next 35 days, and also because I have started this podcast with telling myself that by June 30, 2026, I will have had recorded 100 episodes. Yesterday was episode 71. And today I had the idea to make the 30 days as like a series, but since I'm 35, it's gonna go above 30, obviously. But yesterday was I am unlearning that my value is in what I give. Today I am unlearning that being loved means being needed. And I realized that because I gave the example, I think yesterday, in the episode of yesterday actually, about my friend and how I realized that I felt super guilty after being so fucking happy for her and for the fact that she was having successes in her life. Like, I am genuinely happy. I'm super happy about my people, about my friends, my parents, my mom, whomever. Even if I don't know you, even if I had only met you, I'm always so freaking happy for you if you share your success because I don't know, it almost feels like your success is my success. It's like, even if I don't know you, it's like, if you're successful and you're happy, it's another proof for me that a level of success or happiness is attainable, it's possible. And even if I am in the biggest swamp ever or the biggest funk ever, I will always cheer for you and I will always just hype you and always just fucking believe in you. Because I'm like, we are two human beings that have been created by God. And I don't know, this life experience for me is just so fucking precious. I've shared it in another episode, and maybe I'm just very sensitive and very like, oh, wow, And because Aquariuses are like that a bit. But genuinely, I am happy when someone just tells me about their successes, about their projects, about their visions, their dreams. I'm like, oh my God, there's another human being like me who's just doing life and who's just doing life in their own way and just experimenting life their own way. And I find this so fucking beautiful. And why I say this, I have no fucking clue, but today is one of those days where I just have so much hope, so much happiness, so much contentment, and so much gratitude all at the same time. And at the same time, I'm still unlearning that being loved means being needed. And I think this is something I've done obviously my entire life. And because I've always thought that my worth and the value that I was giving was literally how how people would just love me, would just come to think of me, would just hold me in high regards and just be my friends and just want to be my partner, and just it's always been this way. It's always been like, if you do that, it's, let's put it this way, it's always been conditional. And it is fucking exhausting. Like, honestly, it is fucking exhausting. And when I got my dog, funny enough, last year, he really showed me, and he's still showing me, what unconditional love is. Because my dog is just, he is. He doesn't ask anything from me apart from feeding him and taking him for strolls and having fun and just being there for him. But for him, even when I'm mad, even when I'm sad, even when I'm angry, even when I'm upset, and God knows that last year I went through all sorts of downs and feeling so fucking guilty because he's here and he just looks at me with his puppy eyes like this and he's just like, I still fucking love you. And I've, even with my dog, can you imagine? Even with my dog, I was like, no, I need to be the best human ever. I want him to have the best experience. So whenever he gets my attention or whenever he comes to ask for hugs or wants to be next to me, I'm instantly like, okay, I have to do something. I have to entertain him. I have to, play with him. I have to teach him some things. I have to train him and everything. And I realize that I've done this with my dog, just like I've done the same thing with humans. When humans come to me and they just want to be here or tell me about their stories, the first thing that I do is, okay, how can I fix this? What is the solution that I can bring here? How can I just hype this person? How can I just support this person? How can I just provide something that is tangible, that is practical, that they're going to use? And if at the end of each and every conversation they don't take anything from me, kind of, then I feel completely useless. And it's very shit, because then it's like, oh wow, first of all, you are fucking exhausted and drained from doing that in each and every interaction that you have with a human being. But also, what are you thinking of yourself? What is like your relationship with your own value, with your own worth, with your own, hey, I'm human. The simple fact that I exist is completely enough. I don't need to do anything, first of all. And I don't need to overdo. And the funny thing is that now that I'm practicing being, sometimes it feels like danger, because I'm like, ooh la la, attends, I haven't provided value here. I listened to this person and I haven't asked questions. I haven't followed up. I haven't done this. I haven't done that. And then it becomes this thing where I'm like, putain, maybe I'm useless still. So obviously now the last couple of months have been rewiring big time and changing my beliefs and identity. And obviously when you're in that transition period, you will have instances where you're being faced with another situation where God is going to ask you, okay, have you really learned the lesson? As in, like, have you understood the lesson? Yes. Have you learned from it? Level 2. And have you practiced being or doing something different about that situation? So I always see these things in life. Everything happens for us. I don't like this sentence where people are like, yeah, but why is this happening to me? I truly, truly, truly believe that everything is happening for us, for the betterment, for the improvement, for the just experimenting life. Like nobody knows how the fuck we're supposed to experiment life. And that's the really most beautiful thing that you have as a gift. So we have to just figure shit out. But coming back to that, being loved means being needed. It's I am learning that no, I can still be loved even if people don't need me. I can still be loved even if people don't extract anything from me. I can still be loved even when I don't give anything practical or valuable. I can still be loved by just sitting here, being here, and then that's it. And now I think of it, yesterday I had a beautiful conversation with my mom. She really needed to pour her heart out on so many different topics. And I don't know, maybe with my mom it's so delicate, because I was thinking about this also this morning. I was like, how is it that I am able to ask questions so easily to friends and to strangers, but when it comes to my mom, I have this sort of preciousness, and that I don't really dare. And I have a hypothesis, theory, is that maybe because our culture, like Arabic cultures, we don't talk a lot about emotions or feelings or anything. So I know it's a new territory for her, for me, for my brother. Like, we all sort of read books and podcasts and everything, and we have our own values and perspectives and stuff. But it's only been super recent that we all talk with each other more openly and express feelings. Oh my God, it used to be like, when you say I'm sad or anything, it's like yeah, je suis triste, mais don't worry, everything is fine. It's just like, I'm sad, but don't worry, everything is fine. And we would just, even in our bodies, it would be something aggressive. It would never be something like, yeah, I am sad, and we just sit with it. It's like, I am sad, okay, what do we do about it? So where it all comes from. But I think that maybe the theory is that with my mom, again, it's very precious. There is this cultural element to it, and I'm just scared of asking the wrong question, And so yesterday I was like, you know what? Fine. Let's just listen. Let's just practice this new thing that you've learned, You remember the 3 levels? Understanding, learning, practicing. That could be such a dope concept. What did I say? Understanding, learning, practicing, or learning, understanding? No, understanding, learning, practicing. Let's see the order, but you know what I mean. So yesterday I practiced, and we sat in the park, I think for 2.5 hours. I think I might have talked 2-3 times. I'm not gonna lie. I just asked really good questions. I'm actually very proud of myself. And I realized in that moment that I don't need to find the fucking solution. Like the fact that I'm always wanting to just help and support and just like figure things out is great. I'm not gonna lie. It's very great to have that skill and to have had developed that skill of fixing problems and solution oriented, because I've done that my whole life with school and work and everything, and I love it, huh? But at the same time, it gives the responsibility and the ownership and the agency to the person in front of you to just figure shit out by themselves. Like, why would I be so involved each and every time into people's lives? Do you know what I mean? Do you know the amount of energy that takes to just be like, attentive, already listening, understanding? In your head, it's like uncovering a math problem, and you're like, okay, ça j'ai compris, so this is linked to this. Like, you see this picture where you see like numbers and sigmas and stuff. This is it. When someone talks to me like this, I'm like, all right, she said that, let's just compartmentalize like this, and then it becomes a whole fucking matrix shit. And I'm good at it, and I'm very happy and again very proud of that skill. But yesterday, what happened with my mom is that she talked so much. And she really, for me, I was like, oh my God, this is so precious because, oh, she's opening up. I don't want to ruin this moment. Do you know what I mean? I am 35. She is going to be 64. And I'm like, these are moments that are so fucking beautiful because she gets to tell her story and I get to understand who she is. And then she figures it out also by herself, and it's just, I asked a few questions to give a direction, but then it's also like, well, I don't want to go in that direction. I'll just go somewhere else. So it even removes a sort of pressure from me because it's like, oh, I have to, again, help. I have to, whatever it is that I say or do has to be of help. So it's a necessity. And yesterday, even though it was itching for me to just tell her what it was, because at the end of the conversation, my head was like, yeah, this is exactly what I said. But you know what I mean? So instead of saying that and going there and just, wanting to have maybe sort of control also, like maybe this whole thing about being needed is having control also over people. But at the end of the conversation, she came to me, she hugged me, and she said, thank you. You know how precious that is? Not because it's my mom, but for me, it was so fucking precious because it was one of those first times where I was like, oh my God, this is it. I think this is it. She still loves me, even though I don't feel like I contributed, sort of, quote unquote, to the level I was contributing before. But I contributed differently. I contributed by just being here, fully present. No phone, no nothing. I literally looked at my mom for almost 2.5 hours, unless there was a dog, and then I was like, "Oula, cute dog." But even still, I was just so focused on my mom, and just, I was present, I was here, I listened. And to be honest, that's everything that she needed. And the fact that she said thank you afterwards, I was like, oh, wow, I didn't think that I would feel that amount of gratitude, that she was safe enough to open up, of course, but that she just felt relieved, and that she found relief by herself also. And I think that this is way more empowering than just, wanting to fix people's problems and all these kinds of things, and just absolutely wanting to be needed. Because again, I think now that I say this out loud, am I still recording? Yeah. It is a form of control. You want to control the outcome. You want to, controlling the outcome, which means that, okay, I really need to have something figured out. I need to have something positive. I need to have had impacted her life or their lives by saying the right thing at the right time, using the right word, with the right energy, with the right attitude. Hey, see, I said this already, I have a fucking headache, and it's freaking exhausting. So that's what I'm unlearning. That's the lesson of today. I am unlearning that being loved means being needed. And I wrote something else. Sometimes being needed was just me being over available. That's it. That's the whole thing. Being over available to everything else, everyone else's emotions, sensations, feelings, shit, and good stuff, but not available for me, because that's the that's the biggest cost also, is that you're not really available for yourself, for your own needs, for your own sensations, feelings, and everything. And that's how you actually end up living a life that is absolutely amazing on so many different points, but where you really feel disconnected. Because when shit hits the fan, I'm gonna say it, not a lot of people were there in 2025. The people that I wanted to be there were not there. You know what I mean? And because I always thought that if I did that, if I was that useful, if I was that present, if I gave that much, and if I was that over available, I would give it back. I would get it back at some point when I would need it. But trust me, not a lot of people did that. I know my people anyways, but really there are some people where it's like, putain, all right, okay, cool, I'll see you. From now on, it's going to be airplane mode. There's no signal. But that's going to be something else. That's going to be another episode of I'm unlearning that, you know. Voilà. If any of this resonates, please feel free to reach out. Please feel free to send a message, to comment, or to anything. Because I'm always so curious to hear about people's experiences of life as well. Voilà. Allez. See you tomorrow.